Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back for another contest wrap up. The 2023 Sheru Classic France Pro. Nathan De Asha wins. Already qualified for the 2023 Mr Olympia, but picks up his 11th pro win. He's hoping that was last time against Regan Grimes, and he looked fantastic again. Also, shout out to the HD footage, which is courtesy of his exact name. I've got it written down. It's in the description below anyway. It's Vitor Kelberg, I think it is, and does a phenomenal job. But Nathan De Asha looked sensational once again. Working with the same coach, Stefan, as always named Stefan, same coach as Urs Kalczynski, Wesley Vissers, and all those sorts of guys. So he's obviously picked up another win. And Nathan looked great once again. You can see the abs there. They look fantastic. He was shredded, full. Seems like they're really nailing his peak. Because I remember years past, he would sometimes have a fuller look. Sometimes he would have a more shredded look. He seems like he's really nailing a balance at the moment. So he wins this contest. Looks fantastic once again. And we'll touch on him once again shortly. But Theo Leguerrier jumps a few spots compared to that European pro and places second here in his home country, France. Looked much better, I think. I think he definitely looked improved. It seems like he nailed that fullness with the conditioning this time around. I think he's maybe a little bit flat at that last contest. I think he really brought it here, looked much better. Love his shape, love his lines, great posing. Just overall, I'm very, very impressed, as always, by Theo Leguerrier. And he's just not that far away from being a guy that wins pro shows and is qualifying for the Olympia every year. He's really, really good. Sorry, guys. Really impressive. And let me know in the comments what you thought of this contest. Yeah, let me know what you thought of the results as well. But Theo Leguerrier, once again, looking fantastic. And yeah, he just poses really, really well. Super impressed. What's up, myself? Baffled, thought Tim had it. Laz Pap thought Tim had the win. I don't agree. I mean, Tim Budesheim, actually, if he thought that he had it over Theo, then I understand that. I don't actually have the HD footage of Tim Budesheim, but I do have some decent footage where you can see sort of what he looked like. But hopefully from this guy on IG, go follow him, that did all this footage. Hopefully he puts out something where he's got the HD footage of Tim as well as Alfred Chirac as well. But this is Tim Budesheim. Looked really good once again. Someone said in comments, Tim has no back. I don't know about no back, but that's where he falls down a little bit. It is from the back, and that's where it sort of hurts his physique a little bit. But Tim, once again, I think brought one of his best packages of all time. And EP09, which I'm actually going to get onto as well, said Vlad Chiriak was robbed of second place. Now, I thought Vlad looked fantastic, and we will get to that as well. But you can see Tim there, glutes are shredded, really locked in, but does lack a little bit in that back department. But you can see there that the rear lat spread is pretty good. It's really only the rear double bicep which is an issue for him, in my opinion. Just in my opinion. And is that J-Spell Chow? Says Theo in second didn't see it coming. And here we have Roman Fritz at that same contest. I mean, I'm so impressed by Roman that he had like double hip surgery. He has come back. His legs are looking the best of all time. His upper body's looking the best it's ever looked as well because he has extra fullness in an upper body while he still has outrageous conditioning. Can he add more muscle to his upper body? Absolutely. Totally can see that. But look at those legs from the side. The glutes are cut out. And that side chest upper body wise is looking much better. And he's hitting the shot way better as well. So he's just improving show to show. I don't think Roman is going backwards whatsoever. I think he's just getting better. And look at that conditioning. Glutes and hams. It's like you look at it and you're like, wow. That is insane. If he can bring up that back a little bit more, which he has already, he's going to be, yeah, winning shows on a consistent basis. Super impressed there with Roman. And sorry, I've got a little bit of a cough, guys, as well. I've still sort of just getting over being sick a little bit. Got a bit of an ear infection as well, which is not fun. So doctors today. But yeah, Roman, once again, very good. Huge delts as well. If he can just bring up the arms a little, maybe the chest a little bit more in the back, then yeah. He's dangerous in any show that he goes into outside maybe the Olympia. And this is Alfred Chirac, who placed in fifth, and many people had Alfred higher and with good reason as well. shredded to the bone, very thickly muscled. Let's try to pick out where maybe, I suppose, the reason is why he didn't place any higher than fifth place. I mean, to me here, that's pretty damn impressive. You know, maybe a lack of hamstring a little bit of lack of a hamstring drop. Let's see how he's looking from the back. I wish we had the HD footage of this guy. It really is hard to tell, but from the back, yeah, overall, I'd say better in the back double bicep than Tim Budesheim. Maybe not quite to the level of obviously like Nathan and those guys, but probably over Roman as well. Rear lat spread looks huge. So Alfred was potentially, I'll go back to him, was potentially a little bit hard done by in this contest. I thought he looked really damn good. I'm always impressed by him. I actually predicted Alfred Chirac in second in this contest. I think I predicted him second. I'd have to go back and actually check my predictions. I'll go over them now, actually. I've got them written down. So Alfred places in fifth, and hopefully he places a little bit higher in future contests. So the results were Nathan De Asha first, Theo second, Tim Budesheim third, Roman Fritz in fourth, and Alfred Chirac in fifth. And my predictions were, if I can find them, I had Nathan De Asha in first, Alfred Chirac in second, Roman Fritz in third, so I was one spot off with that. I had Tim Budesheim in fourth, he placed third. Theo Leguerrier in fifth, he placed in second. Leandro Perez I had in sixth, which I believe he would have actually placed in sixth as well. I'll go back to Nathan at the start and run through these guys again, and then I will get to the Classic Physique winner. I had Vitor Both in seventh, which probably looks likely as well. But we'll have to try to find the full results. I'll have a look at the end of this video to see if I can find the actual scorecards. I will get to your guys' comments at the end of the video, so make sure you leave them. And yeah, we'll get to those at the end of this one. I had Make Ciesla in 8th, Mark Joyce in 9th, and Andrea Musi in 10th. So I will try to find those results before this video is finished. But let me know what you guys think. Where does Nathan De Asha place at the 2023 Mr Olympia? Because honestly, I think Nathan is bringing his all-time best to the stage. This is a guy that's placed 7th in the Olympia before. Now, the top 7 or so in the Olympia is stacked, or top 8. We know it's going to be crazy. So Nathan is going to be hard to beat for a lot of guys. He's going to cause some problems, and it's going to be a real, I suppose, query as to where he places at the Olympia, because he was obviously beaten by Regan Grimes. If Regan improves, does Regan beat Roman again at the Olympia? Does Regan beat, Nathan De Asha again at the Olympia, or does it mix up? It's going to be very, very interesting. And hopefully a guy like Theo as well in the future gets to the Olympia stage. And all these guys, like I said in my preview and predictions for this show, 2nd to 7th in this show was always going to be at least reasonably close or super close. And, you know, like EP09 said before, he thought that Alfred, who placed in 5th, should have been 2nd. So it sort of goes to show how close it could have been. So, yeah, very, very interesting. Bear in mind, saw this at the corner of my eye. What's up, Xavier from Queensland? Same time zone. Or maybe not same time zone, actually, now. We just went a daylight saving, so we're an hour off. Yeah, we'll get to your comments and everything very, very soon. I just want to go to the, what's the Classic Physique's winner's name? I was on it just before. Let me find him. So the Classic Physique winner is Maxime Yedes, and I will go to him now. Or Maxim Yedes. Let me just get to that footage. So this is the Classic Physique winner. By himself doesn't look as impressive, but in the overall lineup, he did look much better. And he's got some great, like, look at that front double bicep. The waist is non-existent. The arms are pretty full. Is he a guy that can do something at the Olympia? I think he can place decently, but this Olympia lineup is going to be stacked as always in the Classic Physique. I think we had 60 odd guys last year. So making like a top 20 is an achievement in the Classic Physique. I mean, the Classic Physique lineup didn't touch what we saw last week at the Dubai Muscle Show, or Pro Show, or whatever it's called, where we had Terence Ruffin, we had Wesley Visses, we had Branch Cheng, and then we had the Brazilian competitor. His name's escaped me right now. So this guy, I don't know if he's to the level of those guys. Like maybe he would have been 5th or 6th at that show a week ago, but obviously that was a very high quality lineup, and I think that top 4 honestly, like, would have been probably all of them will probably be top 10 of the Olympia this year, which is crazy to say, as long as obviously they qualify. So, yeah, very, very interesting. And someone made a good point as well on the Classic Physique winner. Looks like Robert Timms. Definitely does. Has that same sort of structure and shape. Very, very similar. So we'll get to your comments now, guys. Let's go through them. Lots of comments. Love it, guys. Thank you so much. And if you are watching the video and do enjoy this sort of content, give the video a thumbs up. If you're watching live or on replay, it all helps so much. And let your opinions known in the comments. Let's go through. The red loop. Tim has no V-taper Milos on last Cutler cast. I agree. I don't know if he has no V-taper. He lacks V-taper compared to obviously some of the guys in this lineup for sure. Like when he's from the back in that back double, doesn't have the same V-taper. When he hits the lat spread though, it comes out from the rear. He does have some good shots. He's thickly muscled. He doesn't have like an ugly physique just because he has no V-taper. He has sort of middle ground sort of physique in terms of aesthetics. Like he's impressive. But yeah, it does obviously factor in when you're up against other guys that are, you know, have the crazy small waist and the crazy wide lats. Sco Gotti, can Nathan finish inside the top 10 at the Olympia? I'm predicting him to finish inside the top 10 because I think he's bringing his all-time best, if not very, very close to it. I think it is his all-time best because he's bringing another level of conditioning. He seems to have more muscle density than he used to have, and he's placed 7th in the Olympia before. Obviously different Olympia lineups, but they were not bad Olympia lineups. They're actually very good Olympia lineups. So I think that sort of physique gets inside the top 10. He's very consistent, Nathan. I think that is a top 10 Olympia physique on Nathan De Asha. And Chow is agreeing. I don't know how to pronounce that name, sorry. Laz Pap says, Roman has great structure. Tim has the back. I don't know if Tim has the back. I don't know if I agree with that. Roman needs to do one-a-day workouts. Roman Fritz is known. I'll go to Roman while I'm talking about him as well. Roman Fritz is sort of known for doing 2-a-day workouts, huge volume, plus huge intensity. He's just an absolute nuts trainer. And that's why he has this level of muscularity and density to his physique. But perhaps he could be even better if he toned it back a little bit. And he probably is toning it back a little bit, and that's why he's looking so good now, potentially. But he's, yeah, just such an impressive bodybuilder. Thomas Diets says, how would Regan have done at this show? Regan in this contest. I mean, he beat Nathan De Asha last time around. Do you think he would have beaten this physique? In my opinion, I didn't have Regan winning last time. I did do a video comparing Nathan to Regan, and I had Nathan winning every pose, and some people messaging, oh, you're crazy, and some people saying, oh, it was a whitewash for Nathan. Yeah, he should have won every pose. And obviously he didn't win every pose because the judges had Regan winning the contest. So obviously I had a different opinion to the judges. But just because you have someone winning every pose doesn't mean each pose is a landslide. But people said, oh, Regan has back shots. Nathan has very, very good back shots, and I felt like he had the conditioning. So I was like, well, if you literally look at each shot, I had Nathan winning each one. Mostly based off conditioning. If we're saying they're the same condition, yeah, I had Regan winning a bunch of shots, a whole bunch of shots. But to me, it wasn't that. So that was just my opinion, but yeah, I understand. Someone saying that Sheru owes him a lot of money. Comments. Time His Muscle says Roman is doing Italy next week. Perhaps he can qualify for Mr. O 2024 also. That would be a smart move. If Roman does that Italy show, yeah, he can qualify again. We've actually got 2 shows next weekend, I believe. We've got the Legion and the Italy show, so we'll be covering it all here on Desktop Bodybuilding. So yeah, that'd be a great move for Roman, qualifying 2 years in a row if he can. I don't know who else is in that show. Let me know in the comments. Regan would have won the show if he didn't come in watery, potentially. He won against Nathan last time. Thank you, bear in mind. What does this mean? Who deuce? Who deuce, Xavier? Because you're from Queensland. I don't know what it means. Is Roman not already qualified? He is qualified already, but he's just hitting show after show. He's always stays in condition, so it's sort of like he may as well. Good call, Regan would have smashed this contest. Is Tim doing Italy? That would be an interesting matchup again if Tim and Tim and Roman do that show. I'm not sure. Xavier should cover some Aussie shows, brother. Amateur cards are pretty good. Yeah, I'd love to, man. It's just not financially viable just to cover Australian shows at the moment unless someone wants to sponsor it. Then someone said Italy next week is a qualifier for Mr O 2024, which I don't understand because the Legion, I believe, which is next weekend, also is a qualifier for 2023. I've got to check that. Everyone's saying it's 2024. I thought, you know, if they're at the same weekend, they should probably be, yeah, I don't know. Let's have a look. EP09, shout out, man, watching your stream or uploading my video because you're the man. Thank you, brother. Nathan is one of the best bodybuilders of his generation. I mean, absolutely. Like, you can say the highest he's placed is 7th in the Olympia, which is the same as like an Ian Valliere and things like that. But I just think that Nathan with 11 pro wins now, and he's not done. What does he finish his career with? 15 pro wins? You're an all-time great if you have 15 pro wins. If you have 11 pro wins, you're probably an all-time great. So, yeah, this is a question here. Alexander Blomquist says, did Nathan say he will compete at the O? He did. On stage when he won that show, he did mention about the Olympia. So I believe Nathan intends to compete at the 2023 Mr. Olympia. Would love to see it. I'd love to do an episode with Nathan soon, hopefully. I'll hit him up after this and see if he's keen to do anything. Love to have him on, talk to him, and see what his thoughts are around the Olympia and other contests as well. Yeah, someone says here, Roman eats 6,000 calories in his diet. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Someone said here, wasn't Rafael Brandao 10th last year? Nathan is still ahead of him. I agree. I'm a big fan of Raf, but yeah, I do agree. Nathan is still ahead of him. So there you go. That's a top 10. And I think Nathan sees himself as a potential top 6. You know, honestly, I do. And Rich B says, not sure how Theo took second, had Tim in second. Surprised Alfred got 5th. Yeah. Few results there. I mean, these guys are so close. Oh, does my sound still suck? Let me just jump out if my sound is bad, and I'll jump back in. Just let me know, guys, quickly. Just so I can jump out and jump back in if the sound is bad. Let me know. I'll just leave, guys, and I'll be back in 1 sec. Wait, I'll change my audio here. Let me know if that's better, guys. Are people saying it's fine for them? Sounds good to me, Zave. Okay. Tiny fuzz, maybe. Okay. Hopefully this is much, much better. Okay. Sweet. All right. I don't know where I was talking about that, but yeah, I was answering your questions. People trying to trip me out, saying my sound's bad. But a few people said it. I don't know. Where are we at? The questions. Someone said Nathan was fuller and better at Flex Pro. I did hear as well that all these guys were quite dark on stage. So I don't know if that played into things or not. I'm not too sure. yeah, he said the people that said they were there said, he looked much better in person. So it's one of those things. Sometimes with the lighting, it can be a little harsh. So I think with a lot of these shows, it's been darker lighting, which has actually disadvantaged Nathan, to be honest. I think he's got the shows that sort of disadvantage him the most in terms of lighting, just because he is obviously darker complexion, that I think it's sort of hurt him a little bit. Maybe that was a difference as to why he didn't win versus Regan in the second show, at least, anyway. Here's one. I want to see Nathan next to Andrew. Obviously, Andrew jacked. Yeah, two guys that are extremely aesthetic, that have very small waists. At this point, I'd be predicting Andrew to win that battle. I think his structure is maybe a little bit too big, but never doubt Nathan. Never doubt Nathan, because he loves to prove you wrong. Someone says he stays in Europe because he can't win the shows like that in the US. I think Nathan would have won a lot of shows in the US this year. I don't know if there's many he would have lost, to be honest. Josh says, you think Nathan is, I think you mean top 6. Obviously talking about Mr. Olympia. Do I think that he's going to be top 6 this year? If I'm putting my life on it, I would say no. Can he be top 6? Absolutely. Now, I think it's sort of the guy that always gets thrown into these conversations. You say, well, Hunter Labrada. Would Nathan beat Hunter Labrada? I would love to see it. I think Hunter is a little bit bigger now than Nathan. But if Nathan really out conditions him, and most people consider Hunter as a top 5 contender, then you sort of go, well, anyone can be up there. And that's not taking anything away from Hunter. Just the Hunter has a fine line between where he's really good and where he misses it. Now, Nathan seems like a guy that's pretty damn consistent. So if anyone misses it a bit, Nathan's almost like the modern day Dexter Jackson in a way. Not obviously to the same level of as Dexter, but wins a ton of pro shows. When guys are off, he can knock them off. And I think if Nathan, those like 7th place finishes at the Olympia, had he been just a little bit more, so like he could have jumped 4th or something like that, like he's that good. So people definitely shouldn't be counting out Nathan. Do I think he'll be top 6 this year? I won't be predicting him in top 6, but from 7th to 10th, he'll definitely be in there, and probably closer to 7th and 10th. So yeah, very much looking forward to seeing how he does at this year's Olympia. And someone says he's not a top 10 Olympian. I disagree, but we'll have to wait and see for sure. Most people are predicting Nathan in that top 10, especially in that like 6th to 10th range. What's going on? Okay, so here's a good question from Silver Jr. Someone said my sound's too high or something. All right, so Silver Jr. says, what do you think of Leandro Perez? So let me share my screen, because I actually had this open before, and I want to show you Leandro Perez. I probably should have downloaded this, but we get to see this pretty decently. Hopefully it's not too crazy laggy. It's a bit laggy, but we get to see him anyway. So this is Leandro Perez, Brazilian bodybuilder. I compared him to Derek Lunsford, and I did say that I think he'll be in 6th, and I think he probably was in 6th, to be honest, in this contest by the call-outs. So I pretty much nailed that prediction. I said, I don't know if his condition will quite be enough versus some of these top guys. And I think that was probably the case. His conditioning was pretty damn good, though. A lot of these guys were in really, really good shape in this show, so hats off to him. Very, very impressive. And he does have a Derek Lunsford type of a shape. Like when he pulls up into a front double, he's got the vacuum, he's got the same shaped legs, just very, very similar. He's not obviously to Derek Lunsford's level. He's got a lot of muscle to add to that physique, but I do see similarities, and I think this guy is definitely one for the future. I think he's going to be qualifying for the Olympia at some point. And yeah, overall, very, very impressed with Leandro Perez, because it's like one of these guys that get a little bit better and he can be winning shows. So very impressed. Manny Pascal says, who would have won the New York? who won the New York Pro? Pretty sure Nathan would have won that too. Was it Tonio? Yeah, it was Tonio Burton that won that contest. Yeah, and it's hard to say that he wouldn't have won that show, but Tonio is very, very good. But he was beaten the next week or 2 weeks later by Ross Flanagan. And I say Ross versus Nathan. I think Nathan wins. I don't know if Ross is a top 10 or Tonio is a top 10 Olympian this year. They have the potential, but I don't know if they are quite at that level. Who else we got? Can Nathan beat Cruzo from Oh Really? Yes, Nathan can beat Cruzo. He definitely can. Nathan is a fantastic competitor. I think they will be close for sure. Very different physiques. It's hard to sort of weigh up now, but I probably will be predicting him ahead of Cruzo. But Cruzo, so it's such a tough Olympia to predict. Hope Cruzo does the O. I believe he is doing the O. He's prepping. There's some recent updates. So someone said beef stew was second. Anyone saying Nathan can't beat these guys are smoking crack. Yeah. Thank you guys for all the comments. It's much appreciated. Xavier back at work. Yeah, I had the virus, and then I had I've got an ear infection now, so not having a good run. Try to get through these, and I'll wrap this up very, very soon. Do I have an ab and pie of Tim Budesheim? No, I don't. I don't believe. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. When's the last time Nathan was stateside in a real show? I'm not sure. Probably before the virus happened. Someone said Alfred's shoulders looked a little suspect. I mean, I didn't see that, but let's go back. Someone else said that as well. I didn't super notice it. It wasn't something that stuck out to me in particular. I'd prefer the shoulders be a little suspect rather than huge lumps elsewhere. But I don't like, obviously, big lumps out of shoulders. They look fine to me. Maybe it's not the detail, but so I'm saying Ian would have beaten Nathan. There's a lot of the people saying that Nathan definitely beats all these people, and people saying that Nathan wouldn't have beaten these people. He's very polarizing. Yeah, good point. Yeah, it's you don't like the Nathan and Dexter comparison. Obviously, Dexter's on another level. He's just Mr. Olympia. You know, it's different. But in terms of, I suppose, yeah, Nathan's like a guy that can beat people when people are off, for sure. That's sort of what I mean. He's very consistent. Someone said rear delts. He's rear delts. I didn't check him out quite enough. Can Nathan beat Brandon Curry? That will be a tough one because I'm predicting Brandon to be right up there in the top 4 this year. Can he? If Brandon misses it, I mean, for sure. And Nathan's really spot on. Yeah. I mean, you never know what can happen, you know. But I will be predicting Brandon higher than Nathan. But regardless, Nathan De Asha wins the 2023 Sheru Classic and takes another qualification away from someone for the 2023 Mr. Olympia. So he's saving Jake Wood a little bit of money there. So anyway, shout out to Nathan De Asha. You looked fantastic, man. And shout out to everyone that got on this stream, watched live, and for everyone who's watching on replay as well. It's much appreciated. So Nathan De Asha, the story is he wins the 2023 Sheru Classic France Pro. Go back and watch the start of the video if you are just watching the end live. And thank you guys so much for your support. I'll be back next weekend, so make sure you tune in. And for myself, I'm Xavier Wills. This is Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are out.